If we can, we're going to have three sections here. We'll start with broadcast, then we'll go on to dailies, and then we'll have a brief 5 minutes for Sunday papers, given the game is this. If we can start with broadcast, and first of all, we'll go to Sky Sports News, Jamie Weir.
Thanks very much, Carmelo. Good afternoon, Scott. How are you doing?
All good, Jamie.
Just start you off with team news as usual.
Team news, yeah, we're pretty good, to be fair, in the sense of what come out of the last game. So players are well. We've had a little bit more of a rest as well. So yeah, no real injury news. Kenny and Congola still on their way back, but everyone else full fit squad really.
On the subject of Tom Kearney, how far away is he, and just how much of a loss has he been? Because the influence of having the club captain there, must mean a great deal.
Well, I think that firstly he is on the way back. It's a bit of a temperamental one, and it's day by day in the injury what he's got. Managed the injury for some time, and now, like I say, it's a bit day to day. So in terms of knowing exactly where you are, that's pretty hard. And of course, you miss your club captain, a player what was strived for a long time to get into this division. Yeah, Tom's got very good quality, and we understand that. So of course he's been a miss for us. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully he's turned that corner, and there is a progression now. And hopefully he can get back and to help us.
The big frustration, and you must be tearing your hair out, is the lack of goals. Because I watch Fulham a lot, and I can't ever remember you really being outplayed by anyone. You're always in every match and competitive in every game, but it's just the lack of goals that's the big problem, isn't it?
Yeah, I think probably that's where we are at this present moment in time. Yeah, I think that's clear. I look at our numbers and the numbers we're producing in the sense of our general play as a team and what we're doing, and they're right up there in the sense of considering where we are in the league. I think probably we sit 10th, 11th around that sort of position for certainly most of our attacking play and our defensive play, but certainly for shots on target, created chances. Just in that sense, alarm bells in my head are not going off too much, because we're definitely getting these chances. But I think you're right, and it's fair to say that we've not been clinical enough in their moments, and we've not been clinical. And at this level, you need to be. So yeah, look, there's a rational element to me where I sit to know that we're creating good chances here, and that tide's got to turn a little bit. And then also there is another side which, along with the players, there's a little bit of a frustration, because we know that if we can just be a little bit more clinical in this final area, then for sure we're competitive, like you say, for large parts, and we've been competitive now. We've drawn a lot of games, and we need to now try and keep improving that side to go and win games.
The question some Fulham fans will have in that case is why, if you look at last weekend, you've got two recognised strikers on the bench for the majority of the game. Now, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You're the manager, you make the decisions. But what do you say to those fans? Why do they see Mitra and Madja on the bench when they could be starting?
Well, look, like anything, a newly promoted team what comes into the Premier League, and you never find that it's just one thing. You're always trying to work out what's the best formula, and first early on in the season that formula was, let's tighten up and let's give ourselves a platform. And I've really liked the way we've looked over the last 10, 12 games. I think we look a very dynamic front foot attacking team. And like anything, like when you're developing teams, you have to work out at what point you change things, and where you can lose certain things to gain something else. And that is a constant thing, and a constant element in my mind of where we can do that. So like I said, we're creating chances. We now need to work out where we can actually convert them. And Madja coming into the football club gives us that. Mitrovic, in terms of goal scorer, he's scored goals at international level, and he's obviously scored goals in and around the Premier League. I think it's fair to say that Mitro has been a little off it, and I think he'd be the first to say that at the start of this season. So yeah, we're in my position where I sit, first and foremost is a team, and first and foremost is a team I want to see, and the team I want to give us a chance to win games. And then from there, of course, we'll keep working and find the formula, hopefully, for us to turn these draws into wins.
Just one final question from me. I'm sure you'll be aware of this letter the FA have written to the CEOs of Facebook and Twitter to basically say enough is enough when it comes to online abuse and online hate. It's kind of a triple part question, really. Have you ever suffered any abuse after a particularly bad result? Do the club have systems in place for players that have suffered that, who want to maybe reach out and seek the help? And what do you make of the letter?
Honestly, Jamie, I don't do Twitter, I don't do Instagram, and the reason I don't do it is everything what I see what's happening in the world. The values I hold as a person is everything what Twitter and the world is about at this current moment. Giving people a platform to be negative, criticise, is something I don't want to be part of, and something I don't want to engage in really. So I can't relate to it, so I can't really give you my full how I fully see it, because I don't understand it, and I don't want to be part of it. I see everything what's wrong with it, of course I do, but I choose to not be a part of that really. And the reason I choose to not be a part of that is because I see what the hurt it brings, and for all the pluses, what maybe some people feel it does, I feel there's a lot more what outweighs it. And like I said, it's something which I don't stand for, I just wouldn't want to be involved in really. So.
Have you seen the hurt it's caused any of your own players?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. I see it because obviously it's well documented as well. I see my players. I've seen incidents of that. But it's very hard for me. Like I said, my only advice I can give is one that I take what I believe in, and the advice I believe in, whoever that may be, is you need to work out exactly where you want to be and where you want to sit with it, because it seems like, and it's been going on for some time, and nothing seems to have changed. And so regulations obviously need to be put in place, or whether a stand needs to be put in place that maybe the people who are involved in it, or what go on it, maybe come off it, and let these companies then all of a sudden realise that, you know what, unless you actually do something meaningful, unless you actually do something which is productive, we're not going to go on it, and we're not going to endorse this because it's unacceptable. But until then, it seems it's always going to be the same old story.
Best of luck, Scott. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. We'll now move over to Jonathan over in PLP.
Hi, Scott. When we're talking about being more clinical in front of goal, I mean, obviously, you know that the quality that your strikers and players do have. What can you practically do to try to improve that? I mean, is it simply back to basics, or little twists in positioning? Can you give us a little insight from the training ground?
I think there's both elements of psychological, and there's definitely elements of technical. And the psychological element is that you often find strikers are under the most pressure, and you often find that strikers or forward players are the ones what have real dips in form and dips out of form because of there's that psycho element. So for me, in the position, I need to keep a real level on it, and to be able to do that, you know, I often find that you have to have some real basics to fall back on. And when you're going through a little bit of a hard time in front of goal, or whatever you're doing in the game or in life, you need some real core fundamental basics to fall back on. And that's my point to the team now. The forward players, and it ain't just the forward players, the midfield players, even the defenders, set plays as well. We need to be more clinical. We need to chip in here with some set play goals that we've not managed to do a lot of. But to be able to do that, you need to strip it all back and get back to basics and hold your game on some real core fundamentals. And if you have that, and one of the things is you come out every day, you face up and you keep practicing, you keep learning yourself, you keep understanding, okay, the ball's come off my stance in this situation, I need to make my standing foot be here, at that moment. All these little things are these constant dialogue what's going over in your head when you're practicing, and it doesn't just become a drill that is, I just want to try and score, and I'll have 14 balls or 15 balls and smash them wherever I want to smash them, or more worse than that, it doesn't come to the point where you're saying, I don't want to do the finishing drill. I don't want to get myself in front of goal, and that's more the psychological element. So there's a lot of things really involved in that. Me as who's sitting here trying to help the players, I need to weigh out both really.
Really interesting. There seems to be a bit of a narrative at the moment about the bottom three. You know, the point differences there. How important, Scott, is it that you sort of keep your players away from that sort of tone of conversation, if you like, that the three who are bottom now are halfway down?
Yeah, very important, Jonathan. Very important. Certainly at this point, I'm very honest and I'm very realist. Maybe that changes in a few weeks' time. But certainly at this moment in time, I think the difference is 8 points. I don't know for sure. We have Burnley to play twice. And there's a lot of football. We have some big games coming up, and there's a lot of football to still be played. This season is definitely not over. A big challenge ahead of us, of course there is. There's a massive challenge ahead of us, and that's clear for everyone to see. But that challenge was there at the start of the season, and that challenge was there straight after Wembley last year. That's exactly how it was going to be, and this is what we are now. I see a team forever improving. I see a team that are in games. Find margins now. Can we be more clinical in the moments we just spoke about, and try and get some wins? Because like we've seen with Brighton, like we've seen with a few teams, all of a sudden a couple of back-to-back wins, 3 wins, which this team is possible to do. It looks a whole lot different, and hopefully we can be the right side of that.
And the last one from me. I suppose the days of sharing a glass of wine with the opposition manager after the full-time whistle are kind of not really happening at the moment. But has there been anything you've been able to pick up from Mr. Ancelotti, either personally this season or from his career previously, that has benefited you as a manager?
Not really, because obviously I've not been able. Last time we played Everton, we was in the state we're in now. So of course he's a manager. As a player, I remember him as a player, but certainly he's a manager who I've got nothing but admiration for. An incredible career. Seems a real classy man. Goes about his business in a real classy, dignified way. Very professional. I don't know him personally, but that's the impression I get. And of course, to win what he's won over the course of his career speaks volumes, really. So he's someone, of course, I look to and admire.
Thanks, Scott. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Jonathan. We'll complete the broadcast section with Emma Jones, BBC London.
Hello, Scott.
Hi, Emma.
Hi. I suppose you've kind of slightly answered this question, but I just wondered how daunting that gap feels at the moment between Fulham and safety.
It doesn't really feel too daunting, Emma, to be honest with you. I understand the challenge, of course, and I understand how it may look, but I also see ahead. I also looking on, and I like I said, I think I've said it a few times, that this question may come up in a few weeks, in 5, 6, 7, 8 games time, and maybe I'll have a different answer. But certainly now I look at the fixtures we've got. I look at how the team's progressing. I also have an understanding of where we need to improve, and of course we need to win games. But the fixtures we have are ones that are winnable, and at the same time we need to win, of course. And if we do that, and we can apply that pressure on the teams above us, this season's still got a lot of football to be played, and you hope that can make the difference.
You got your first win as a Premier League manager. In fact, your first points as a Premier League manager against Everton. Does that match feel an awfully long time ago?
Yeah, it feels a very, very long time ago, yeah. I think, I took over, and the first 6 or 7 games couldn't manage to get the win. And then I think we went 3 on the bounce, Everton, Bournemouth and Cardiff, I think it was. But yeah, it seems a long time ago. So yeah, look, I'd like to. Hopefully, we can have that same result this time.
Fulham have never won away against Everton in the league. I'm sure that's something you want to put right, but it's a great record, is it? 27 attempts. No,
it isn't. But I don't really look into records. I don't really look into, when you see them numbers come up and them stats come up. I don't know, the the one what you just mentioned, or not one at home in where it's, yeah, they're irrelevant to me. This is a different team. Against an Everton team was a different team. And I know for sure that if we turn up and we put in a performance and we get the fine, we're the right side of the fine margins in the game, I know we can go and win this game. So, yeah, that's how I see it really in that sense.
It was a very eventful match at Craven Cottage between the two teams, and I think one of many matches this season, unfortunately, where you must have wondered afterwards, if only, what if?
Yeah, it was. Certainly second half. I thought first half we started the game slow, and then we got ourselves back in, and before you know it, I think it was 3-1 at half time. I think we made some changes, and then second half we was very, very good, get ourselves back into it, and have some big chances to at least equalise in the game. So yeah, it was a bit of a what if, but certainly something for us to take huge confidence from in the way we performed first half defensively as a team. I think we've come a long way from where we were as a team then as well. So yes, it's a big step for us in that sense, and confidence to take into the Sunday's game.
A player who scored that day was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You're talking about needing goals from your team. Is he a player that you think you could get a few more goals from?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he's been brilliant over the last 7-8 games for us. I think he's come out the other side of settling in. He's taken everything on board. He's a boy that is so open to wanting to get better, to wanting to learn, holds on to every word. He's wants to be developed and wants to improve his game, and that gives him every chance. And I think when he came here, he was obviously out for some time with an injury, but certainly now you're seeing a top class player. And I think it's fair to say, often speaking to Ruben about it, and Ruben is, as well understands that if we can just add a few goals to his game, then yeah, I honestly think that there's a world class player there really. So he understands that. As we always find, the hardest part of the game is putting the ball in the net, and he's been nearly there. He's had some big chances, and his detail and everything is improving drastically. So with the way he is as a person, the way he is as a professional, I have no doubt he'll get the other side of that, and he'll add some goals, which we vitally need, and also for him personally in his development he needs.
Thank you, Scott.